Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessie if you're new here, and this is my husband, Ben.
Jessie pauses, fumbles at every time because she's like, should I say his name or is he gonna say his name?
I don't know. And sometimes I just like won't say it and then he's like, Ben. I had him on the last video where we did our December budget. He actually did it and we compared. So if you haven't seen that one, I will link it in the cards so you can watch it. But a lot of you really liked that video, and I had some other recommendations to do an end of month budget, which I actually think will be more interesting. I think putting the budget together, if you saw the last video, we're pretty much on the same page. Looking at the budget at the end of the month, I think is actually where Ben needs to be more involved so that he can see where we overspent, where we underspent, and why. At the end of the month when I tell him like, oh, we had to pull money from savings, and he's like, why? You know, that I can be like, well, this is why. So, and I think it's just helpful for him to be more involved, and he wants to be more involved. That is what we're gonna do today, and we thought we would show you guys. If you are new here, I do all kinds of lifestyle videos. I am 9 months pregnant, which is why I look so swollen right now. So I do a lot of videos about pregnancy. I do a lot of videos just in general, like vlogs and stuff of our family life. But I also like to share our personal finance journey because I think we're in a spot that a lot of people are in, but people don't talk about. We have a lot of debt, we have a good income coming in, but it can be a little overwhelming sometimes when you have a lot of debt. So without further ado, let's jump into this video. Okay, so this is what our budget looked like for November. I have November correct down here because I messed something up royally in like the middle of the month, and I literally had to redo the entire month because I couldn't figure out what was off. So with that, our income this month, I always block out our exact income, but Ben actually had like an extra payment come in from a refund that he got from his business that's out of Illinois. So we got $548 from them that we weren't expecting. I had just a little bit of rollover, $70.49. This is actually, so it's income, but we did take $1,000 out of savings this month.
What do you mean it's income?
So it's shown in our income because that's the only way that it'll show it down here.
Oh.
I can't remember why. Is it because of the crib? It was because of the crib. So we weren't expecting to have to pay for the crib, and we did. So that's why I had initially pulled over $400. So you'll see at the end our rollover, we actually didn't use all of this. So one of the things that we struggle with our budget right now is the beginning of the month, our biggest payments come out. So I almost always have to like fudge things around because like I think our rent comes out and like $800 of our debt comes out, $850 of our debt. So if we spend anything extra in the beginning of the month, it totally throws everything off. So sometimes I'll pull savings over and then push it back. This month, I think I just never pushed it back, which you'll see at the bottom that we actually have more than this that I rolled over to next month. So technically it's savings. And then just random stuff, $59. I got a refund from the waxing place because I was not going back because it hurt way too much. We get a little bit of interest from our checking. And then something was off by $40 that I could not figure out. So
oh, interesting. That
is in there, and I don't know what it is. Most of the time it's that I pulled something wrong from the month prior, and then it like regulates. Anyway, so our income this month was $8,899.92. So if you take $1,000 off of that, it was about $7,800. So we were just a little bit over what we normally bring in. So our fixed expenses, everything was the same as normal. Our rent, renter's insurance, all of our little like Discovery Plus and stuff. Didn't have gym membership this month, so I took it out for next month. I did buy a book this month that wasn't covered by Kindle Unlimited, so it was a little bit extra. So that should actually be read just for me to know. And then our last payment of Ben's phone, it'll be coming from my business account next month, so it's not in there anymore. And then
very nice.
Yeah, and we did get a little bit of a refund on this too because they overcharged us. So, but it came in like a Visa gift card, so it's not in the budget.
Yeah.
We went over on apps just because Ben had a couple apps that renewed that we didn't budget for, but $34. So we were over about $25 in this category, which is basically the apps that came out.
Yeah.
Our loans, everything was the same. So I'm not going to go through these one by one. The only one was your Discover loan was like $2 more than normal. And your AES loan also went up by $11. So I'm just going to watch those and see if that's like a consistent it's going to go up thing, if I need to like change it. But so we were off by $13 because of that. So total fixed expenses and debt, we spent $3,815.62, which was really only $40 over budget.
That's the easy stuff.
That's the easy stuff. This is where it gets a little bit crazy.
See a lot of red there.
There's a lot of red. So one of the things, we went $300 over budget on groceries. We've actually been really good at not doing that recently. Yeah. My excuse this month, which is always my excuse because I keep forgetting, it was a 5 Wednesday month. So I get groceries on Tuesdays or Wednesdays. So for example, I got groceries yesterday. That's technically for December, but it came out of November's budget. That's just the way that I do it, the way that my brain works. Because then if I don't do it that way, then December will have 5, whatever. Anyway.
Yeah.
So
I suppose.
Yeah. So that was part of it. And then the other big part was we bought a bunch of baby snacks from Target, which we spent like $100, didn't we?
Yeah. Yeah. It's basically stuff for like a bunch of bars and nuts and like stuff for the hospital, plus overflow of that for the nursery, like nighttime snacks when either of us is up feeding or whatever.
Yeah. And then we also spent about $160 at Thrive Market for the same type of stuff, having like
easy grab stuff around.
Pantry stuff. So between those, that's like $250.
Yeah.
We went over by $300, so it kind of makes sense where that came from this month. I don't think we were like overspending. It was also Thanksgiving, so we bought some like, that was a pretty expensive week of groceries. Just
yeah, because we bought stuff that we wouldn't normally in order to make that meal, since we weren't going out to eat or anything. So
yeah. Next we did go over on Costco, $232, so we went about $82 over. I put over here, there was a small, I bought my sister a blanket for her birthday, so that like 25 of that is technically a gift, but I wasn't gonna split it out. So yeah, we've consistently gone over on Costco the last few months, and we'll see like where it goes. I would prefer to keep this closer to 150. He's okay with upping it to like 200.
Yeah, I just feel like for Costco, 150 doesn't get you very much. And again, like my reasoning behind pushing that budget up is always, it seems like a lot in the moment, but we are specifically focusing stuff that's like actually good deals. We're not just going there and buying anything and everything. It's like these things are significantly better priced here than elsewhere.
I will say though, we've been buying a lot more clothes from Costco and like blankets from Costco, which is me, but I don't think that that stuff is necessary, which is why I think that could be pushed back a little bit. I also, a lot of the stuff that comes from Costco is for you. So I think for me, I'm like, this isn't helpful. Or like, I still struggle with the like, Ben is big into like bulk, and he's like, okay, this, you know, by price, this is a better deal. But to me, I'm like, but we only have this amount of money. So it doesn't make sense in my brain, which is why we always struggle with Costco. Yeah. So right now though, we weren't super over by any means. Restaurants and coffee shops, we went over by 100, which isn't the worst that we've done, but I was really thinking that we might this month have been able to stay closer. But quite honestly, it's just like the stuff just like adds up so quickly. A lot of this was stuff for me, it usually is, but there's like a couple of times like Sip, Ben and I ate there, Sunrise Cafe is Ben, all these coffees are me. La Santa, we went there for like a lunch date. Torchy's, we went there for a lunch date. So it's not terrible. I don't think for the amount of places we went, 300 is a lot.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's just like crazy to me, the amount, because really, if you're looking at that, there's only one nice meal in there, which is La Santa. The rest of those are like,
Faster.
yeah, it's like not like some like nice sit down dinner. So that's the only part that kind of like, that's like annoying to me.
That's the part that sucks though. Like Sip, it's like $13 or $14 a person. Torchy's was the same. I mean, Torchy's was like almost $40 when we went there. Mods, your pizzas, like both of these pizzas.
Mod.
Oh, what? I think it's,
I noticed it there and I was like, it's not Mod.
yeah, I don't know.
You just
Coke is,
you deleted the semicolon.
Coke is not the drug, I promise. It's well,
That's
kind of a
why
drug
it's so
to me.
much.
Yeah.
So
DoorDash was also, I DoorDashed one day because I
Yeah.
really wasn't feeling well, and that was like way overpriced. So
that's what I was gonna say. Like, we've had that conversation before, and like
I did
that's
it once,
that's
though.
going to happen. Like it's a complete waste of money. Like it's just
especially when only one person is ordering. If both
Yeah.
of us were ordering, then it makes sense. But when you're buying one meal from like Chick-fil-A and it's double the price because I don't know, like all the prices of like, what are those called? Like those fees that they charge you are just like astronomical right now. They've always been, but they're like even worse.
Yeah. And it was one of those things where normally, like to me, I'm like, that's like a hard no, we can't do that. It's just a waste. But this was like a day where Jesse really wasn't feeling well.
You
I had
were
like
in
a lot,
meetings.
yeah, I had a ton going on or something like that. So it wasn't even like, it was really reasonable for me to go out and grab something or whatever.
This happened a lot in first trimester too, just because I was really sick. And it'll probably happen once baby's born.
Yeah, well, that's what I was gonna say is I think it's like considering that for the budget, like we're going to have more of those. And, you know, like you mentioned, you know, we're gonna do like a meal train and stuff like that. So like hopefully we get some
Like a
support.
gift card meal train because we don't have anybody here.
Yeah. So like hopefully we get some support there because that'll be really good for these kinds of costs that we wouldn't like otherwise have. But I don't know. Given that I have time off and stuff, like I might be able to run out and grab stuff.
It really just depends on like how exhausted we are.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we were over on that category, not as terribly as we have been in the past. but
Final comment I want to make. Well, just because this is like a constant thing.
This is where we fight these first three.
Yes. So
We
that
don't
I mean,
fight, but this is where we
it
disagree.
makes sense to spend the most time here. So this is what I struggle with, y'all, and all you gals out there can back Jesse up. But for me,
Where are you galling?
there's 6 coffees there between Starbucks and Wake Forest Coffee Company. If each of those is $6 to $7, that's $20 to $25. That's $50 a month. That's coming directly from coffee. And to me,
And I spent some from my business, but
right, which is why I'm pointing this out, because I know this isn't the only coffee that was bought.
No.
So to me, like that,
it was a hard coffee
we've talked
month
about
for me.
Yeah, we've talked about this a lot. I'm not asking her to give up coffee
Right.
or never have a coffee out, but to me,
It should be like
that's too much. Because,
Right.
like, at least when we're talking from a budget standpoint, like, hey, let's try to stay around this amount, like, that's $50 of fluff. That could be, like, a nicer meal somewhere.
And he's also saying that because he knows that I probably got at least 6 more coffees on my business budget. So anyway, so it was a hard, we
Yeah.
talked about this the other day. This was like, it's kind of a hard month for me when it comes to food. I'm struggling a little bit with just like my thought process around food, and
Maybe you should do a video on that whole thing.
yeah, probably. But anyway, so I just kind of I went a little over with the coffee thing because I'm afraid of losing it. So that's a whole other story. But yeah, the coffee thing is definitely a piece of it, but a lot of it is just like, some of the stuff is just overpriced. And we've talked about this before. Like, we don't even really love a lot of the restaurants in the area that we're in. So sometimes it's like we spend $30 on a meal and we're like, why did we do that? Although I feel like this month it wasn't as bad. We like all those
No,
places.
yeah, it was actually,
really
good.
Yeah.
We liked the Sip meals. Sunrise Cafe, I tried that, and that was a positive experience. We tried Torchy's. We really enjoyed that. So yeah, we don't
Pizza
really.
Hut was a craving.
Yeah, we don't really. I really like Mod when I'm in the mood for pizza. So yeah, no regrets this month.
Yeah.
Because we do sometimes have those where like, why did we just spend $50? Like that was not that good at all.
Right.
So.
Moving on, we only spent $5.95 on medication and supplements. I always keep this budget high because I never know when Benjamin is going to go on Fullscript and go crazy. So
Yeah, I mean, it's right. You essentially have to have like a buffer, because that's the weird thing about this. It's hard to do like a monthly budget for.
Right.
Because
it just depends what we need.
Right, and it's not.
And I don't take supplements well, so sometimes I'll like forget for weeks, and so we don't need them monthly like you do a medication.
Right, so it's like 1 month it'll be $5.95. That probably means that next month it'll be $2.25.
Right.
Like,
yeah, I think it was last month. I think
Yeah.
it was like over $200.
Yeah.
So
evens out.
next household, we went over by $55. Now this is also, we did buy our KitchenAid, which you can't see behind Ben. However, it's on my Target card, so I haven't paid it yet. So this is like one of those things that will be coming out of our December budget, although we paid for it in November. But just for clarity there, we did spend an additional $250 on the KitchenAid. It's just not in this budget. So we bought green pans, which is what we weren't expecting, but they were on sale for like $90 or something like that. And our pan, we only had like one non-toxic pan. I've already talked about our pans before. So we got those. We got cockroach spray that Ben never used.
Yeah, I mean, the cockroaches got scared apparently because after we bought it,
Yeah.
they never came out again.
Yeah. Toilet bowl cleaner, split Amazon bill. Oh, for Ben's
Oh yeah, teapot that
he
I
also
haven't used yet.
Anyway, so household we tend to go over. I do think I'm gonna have to up that budget at some point, but for now I'm keeping it at 100 just to see how much we actually spent.
Yeah, it's something that could go up with baby too, depending on how you bucket things out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So beauty is the next category. We went over quite a bit, $186, which is because I got my nails done twice this month. My nails are growing like friggin' crazy, and they drive me crazy. When they get to the point where I can't take my contacts out, that's not a great time for any of us. So that's usually like $50 to $60 a time. So that would put us at like $120 basically. Ben got some hair stuff at a little shop that we stopped at. I got some makeup from Sephora. Ben got his haircut, which is pretty pricey, but for a guy, I think guys' haircuts should be like $30. That's just me. But we also had to re-up our shampoo and conditioner from there, and I use like a really high quality shampoo and conditioner, so that was a lot. And then my Billy razor renewed, which it renews like every 6 months or something, and it was $10. So it's mostly the nails and the haircut / shampoo stuff. Next is personal spending. We actually were under barely, but I budgeted a lot this month. Normally that budget's only like $100.
Yeah.
So we were $17 under budget. This was, again, similar to how I was talking about the KitchenAid. The Target bill was from last month, so we had like some Target bills. We had the Discover bill from last month, or earlier this month too, which was your clothing and your phone. So sometimes when we have like bigger purchases, like the dogs the other day, we'll put it on his credit card and then we'll pay it, but we're paying them off immediately. We're not holding a budget. It's just we don't want to pull all that money from our account right away just in case we need it. Looks like a book. I got a phone case for my phone, and then yesterday I bought some more belly oil because of course I'm 3 weeks out from giving birth and I ran out of my belly oil.
All the belly oil.
Yeah, but it's been helping, so that was worth it to me. So yeah, we spent $482, which is a lot and more than we normally spend on personal spending, but some of that, and you'll see that in babies category too, was from Black Friday. Next, therapy. I only spent $25 because I only had one session. Doctors, we only spent $50 because my chiropractor's only charged me once. I want to say that there should be another charge in there, but right now we only got charged once, and then my doctor as well. We're really lucky. Both of my doctor and my chiro are covered by insurance, so we only pay a $25 copay, which is spectacular because my chiropractor is saving my pregnant life currently. So
Yeah.
I would pay her full price if I had to.
Yep.
Next, utilities. We were a little bit under, mostly because we didn't have, it's only like every 3 months we pay water or something like that. So this is another category similar to medications and supplements that I tend to over budget, just because I would rather that the money was there, because we've had months where our like Duke or City of Raleigh is like really expensive, and then the money's not there for it.
That'll go up a little bit now that we're in more of the winter months here.
So the heat.
I just got an email the other day showing like our projected cost, and it was like a good amount more because the heat will be on most of the time.
Yeah.
Not as pricey as air conditioning, but still.
Yeah, our house isn't like super well insulated.
No.
So that's a problem, but also it's just the way that it is.
It's the one thing you get living in the South. It's not the like efficiency of the house is very different than in the Midwest.
Yeah, where the houses are built for like negative 300 degrees.
Yeah.
So next is car. We went over on this one because I didn't know, well, I think I did know, but I didn't budget for the car renewal. Is that what it's called? Like the license, what is it called?
Like the registration.
The
renewal.
registration.
Yeah.
So we actually only got gas. Well, we got gas 4 times. But basically the car renewal was 40, 50, 60, 70.
So we would have been like
It was about,
right on budget besides that.
Yeah. It was about $280 between the emissions test that we had to pay for, which I don't think I've ever paid for an emissions test before.
Yeah, I don't think I have either.
Which it was only $30, so it wasn't like terrible.
Yeah.
And then the car renewal. I was talking about this in my my vlog the other day. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that the car like renewal is more expensive here than it is in Chicago. It's insane.
Yeah.
Like in Chicago is expensive. I'm not saying it's much more than Chicago, but I was just like, I was not expecting. I'm like, we live in like the outskirts of Raleigh. Why are we paying $300 for this? But it is what it is. Our car is now renewed. Next is Cora and Finn. This looks beautiful and like we're under budget, and it's because we paid for it. We paid for their vet appointment the other day with Ben's Discover card, so I have to wait till it populates on the card to pay. So that'll be coming out in December.
Yeah, that'll come out next month.
Yeah. And I might wait a little bit on that one just because it was almost $700. It was like $680, I think. Just so I'm not pulling $680 out of the budget.
Yeah,
I
mean, worst case, we pay that over the next 2 months.
Yeah, we can pay it next month. I have it budgeted, but it's just that I don't know. Like I was talking about before, the beginning of the month is where we're lower because of our big bills. So I don't want to pull out, $250 for the KitchenAid and then, excuse me, like basically $1,000 for all that stuff. Yeah. But they got their dog food twice because they're now eating the same dog food, and Cora had her Cavalaquin renewed. So otherwise we would have been on budget. Or no, we wouldn't. Yeah, we were on budget. I'm just saying this is a lie. It will be coming out next month. Next, baby stuff. We stayed under budget, but again, I budgeted $900. So I budgeted that much knowing that I was taking the $400 out of savings for the crib. I knew that we were going to be spending at least $400 on the crib, and then we had like Black Friday stuff. So Target bill must have been baby stuff from the month prior. We bought a stroller piece, and then our friends sent us the stroller piece off of our registry. So that I just have it in here because it also got refunded back to us. So that's in there. We bought like a couple clothing things. The beginning of the month we had a big Amazon order of like all the last minute stuff. So like, a Haka and like all the stuff that we didn't get on our registry. Basically the baby crib was about $400. We bought sheets. I'm supposed to be getting a refund on one of the sheets, so I bought sheets from Kite Baby, And the way that they work is so I exchanged the sheets, but they charge you for them and then they'll like refund you, and they haven't refunded us yet. So I was just waiting till we got through Black Friday to email them and be like, yo. So there should be like $40 coming back to us for that as well. And then there's also an Amazon refund in here. And then we bought a bow because we realized that we have like a ton of little hats and stuff, which are totally gender neutral. But we're like, should we get like one bow in case it's a girl? So we got a bow when it was on sale. And then we got some like little pants because we have a lot of onesies, but we don't have like pants to go with them if it's cold and stuff. So anyway, Cora's clip-clopping around over here if you hear her. So that was a pretty big one this month, but we knew that was gonna happen. And then miscellaneous buffer, it was just, this is usually when we get like a random charge that I don't know what it is that'll go here. So we had an Amazon charge that we couldn't figure out what it was. I bought a mouse pad. Ben bought a budget template that he was very excited about. And then we were off by 13 cents. So I just put it there. But yeah, you guys will see we're gonna try to use this new budget template in 2022. Currently I'm struggling with it because I like my budget and I don't like change when it comes to the things that I make.
Yeah,
but
well, I mean, we'll see. There's pieces of it that don't fit, work exactly with how Jesse likes to do this. So we kind of have to see if we can tweak it. The idea, as you'll probably see when Jesse shares it, is that it's more robust in terms of like what it shows, and as we are getting closer to not just like drowning in debt and actually having some money to play with, and you know, not in the short term still, but on the horizon, looking into like actually having investments, even if that is just you know, small things, we can track that via that in a way that's really like really nice and pretty and stuff. So so it'll probably be like a slow transition, but I think worthwhile. It's just a matter of like seeing how we can make it work for us.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to do a hybrid of this budget and the next budget, because that budget doesn't show you, it doesn't actually show you what you budget, it shows you what you spent. So I liked seeing, because I change our budget a lot, and the investment stuff is just like not even in my brain. So to me, it's not worth tracking yet, but I do think in the long run, it'll be helpful to see all of that information. So I think we're gonna do like a hybrid where I still have a budget like this, that's either within the same spreadsheet or on its own, and then that budget will probably like update at the end of the month so that we can keep track of what it looks like throughout the year. But we'll figure it out. So anyway, we spent $4,331.75 in variable. Woo! So we were $581 over budget.
And what's like, so $37.50 there was what was budgeted. What's like our normal? Oh, okay.
I feel like it depends, like, because some of our budgets have just been higher lately because of like this.
Okay, so like that month there's like budgeted closer to 3,000.
Yeah.
All of these though have been
over budget.
Yeah. By a lot.
Yes. Yeah, it was a little bit higher budgeted of a month, but we were anticipating that. And like I said, I did pull over some extra money, which you'll see in just a minute. Let's finish this out quickly though.
Yep.
So we spent $23 over budget on birthdays. That's just, I shipped my sister's birthday gift and I didn't budget for it, so it was $23, so I just put it there. We didn't have any of these other payments this month. So in total, we spent $8,170.57 this month. We were anticipating spending $7,526 this month. The other difference is here you can see income remaining 95 is, I thought, the only amount that we were gonna have remaining budgeted for, and we had 729, and that's because I pulled the $1,000 from savings.
Right.
So really, we probably only did have about $95 from our own budget left over, and the rest is savings, which I pulled to December because we're gonna need it in December, so I'm not gonna put it back in savings.
Yeah.
But yeah, so normally I wouldn't want to pull money from savings. Again, we were anticipating having to because of the crib, and then we just had a very high spend early part of the month, and I had to pull some money over so that we didn't, like, the account wasn't dry. That's just something we have to figure out in general. Hopefully with like some of the changes we're making in the next year with our debt, at least one of those big debt payments will go away, hopefully.
Yeah.
So, because right now, I mean, we pay $1,700 for rent, and then we pay $850 for debt, like within the first few days of the month. So we just get like hit really hard if we have another bill that comes out or something like that. Or we have a high grocery spend that month, your paycheck is like, bye.
Right.
But yeah, do you have any questions looking at it this month, or anything to say about it?
Not really. No, I feel like I said my piece earlier. No,
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like it makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I think just gonna be interesting to see how things change with baby. I think the next few months, it's just gonna be,
learning curve.
yeah, it's just gonna be important to like stay on top of this, having me involved in more of like a dialogue is important, because I think especially with those like times of change and trying to figure that out, possible that there could be like frustrations and stuff like that. So I think the more that we just can talk about things and be on the same page, the better.
Yeah. So that's what our November budget looks like, and I've already updated December's budget to be correct with like the KitchenAid payment,
Oh, yeah.
all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you haven't already, and let us know if there's any other budgeting or finance videos you'd like to see with the both of us, and we'll see you in the next one.